Hey, it's good to have you here. I would say if this video found you right now, you're probably also tired of something. I'm tired of ADHD. It's interesting, right? Because I started a movement called ADHD's Over. Really wanting to expose the fact that, like so many things in mainstream, there's more to an issue than meets the eye. And after 10 years of research into ADHD, mental health, education, parenting, alternative modalities that are out there that I know have worked for our own son, have worked for many other families that I've been able to witness. It's just disappointing and frustrating, to say the least, that anything that questions the mainstream narrative instantly gets dismissed as, conspiracy theory, or as quackery, or as anti-this, anti-vaxxer, anti-this, anti-that. I'm not generally anti-vax. I'm not anti-medication. I'm not anti-using medical or scientific language to describe a part of our society, a group of humans that are struggling with something. Not at all. As a matter of fact, that's part of our shorthand. That's part of how we figure things out and improve lives, right? But what frustrates me, what infuriates me, like what drives me crazy, is when ignorance replaces common sense. I recently said to a friend that I just don't think common sense is as common anymore. And what I mean by that is that I've seen highly intelligent people discard scientific fact and even, like I said, common sense for the sake of, finding comfort in antiquated mainstream narratives and headlines that make them feel that they're right, that they're on the right team, right? And I don't want to go into details here. This is not an episode on ADHD. This is more just a video. I just wanted to share that I'm tired of it. It's frustrating, and sure, some might say, well, why don't you just give up, toss the project, move on? I might. Always joke, ADHD's over someday. It'll be over for me. It'll be like, it's not even a thing anymore. I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to give it any power. I don't need to give the label any more limelight than it deserves, in my opinion. But I'm feeling lots of you out there. I'm feeling your own frustration and your own lower tolerance for bullshit. A friend of mine is a great artist, and he created a poster that says, no more bullshit today, no more bullshit tomorrow. And that's something I aspire to live. I'm not perfect, so I can't say I don't have any bullshit in my life. I still catch myself bullshitting. But I think, my awareness of the fact that it's bullshit is starting to kind of diminish it. I think my bullshitting is quieter and smaller. I feel that we live in a society or in a world where transparency and authenticity and vulnerability is rare in the minority. I feel like we have collectively manifested and created a society that reflects, directly our own capacity for bullshit, capacity for hiding, for keeping secrets, for cheating, lying, deceiving, manipulating, and so forth. What we're seeing out in the world, you know, when we say, I don't like politics, I hate this country, I don't like the world, we need to, you know, figure out how to solve world hunger. All these big issues, these out there issues, actually have been collectively manifested and co-created by us individuals. So I'm fully responsible for some of the bullshittery out there because I used to bullshit a lot more. I used to hide and lie and cheat and manipulate. Not because I am fill in the blank of a label, narcissist, traumatized, well, whatever, right? Simply because I didn't know any better. It's become a coping mechanism, right? A way to survive, a strategy. But now that I'm aware of it, I don't have the excuse anymore of like, well, it's because of this, and well, it's because I have this, and because I'm that, and you know, because my upbringing was rough, and I have ADHD, and I was traumatized, and I don't go into victimhood anymore. I don't throw any more pity parties in victimhood, although maybe at the time that sounded fun. But now it's the real work. And I'm here to say that if you're tired of what you're seeing out there, if you're tired about politics, if you're frustrated, angry with leaders, with people in your family, your spouse, your children, your school, the education system, you name it, fill in the blank for you, I'm here to say that that's good news. Like, that's when the work starts. It's the good news and the bad news, right? It's like, you have arrived. I know, because I have arrived. And I'm just starting. I'm a toddler in this thing called life, like so many of us. We're just learning to walk in authenticity, vulnerability, and in responsibility and transparency, right? These are new skills or new muscles, if you will. So I'm here to say, yeah, be in the I'm tired of it, be in the I'm frustrated, I'm angry, feel all of that. And I'm talking to myself. As I'm saying this, I'm realizing I am really talking to myself. We are only ever really talking to ourselves. Is that through all of that, by experiencing those emotions and those feelings, by honoring them, right? Not they should be, I shouldn't be feeling this way, this should be different. By going through it, the way through is the way to the light. What is the light? Well, the light is the truth shall set you free. Jesus said it. Whether you believe in Jesus or religion or not, the truth really does set one free. I'm a big believer that the majority of our mental disorders are caused by a lack of expression, by suppression, repression, depression, instead of expression. I believe that if we expressed ourselves fully and authentically, and it's hard, it's a lifelong process. You know, when you're people pleasing, which I'm myself a recovering people pleaser, slowly recovering, we're not honest. We do things for people, and silently we resent them because we expect them to do things for us, and when they don't, we're like, oh, we resent them silently. We don't voice it. So again, expressing, right? When we haven't, what I call a monologue, an internal monologue with ourselves, that can cause depression. When I say cause, there's many causes, but that to me is one form to really stay depressed. But when we have a dialogue, when we express and we are in dialogue with other human beings, and we share our truth, whatever the truth is, I believe there's less depression because we're expressed, we're not suppressed. It's just almost scientific fact, if you will. There's more to depression, more to ADHD, OCD, anxiety, and all of that. Yes, I'm aware of that. At the same time, the causes for those mental disorders are pretty simple, and it's not a chemical imbalance. That theory has been debunked over and over, and you can look this up if you're willing to do the research, the real research. But I don't want to get stuck on this. I'm just here to say, by sharing your anger, your frustration, even your depression, by owning it, processing it, you can get to the other side. And what's on the other side is something I'm trying to find out myself. What is on the other side of all of this? Because I'm tired of being ahead of my time. I'm tired of saying things 5 years ago that I intuitively received, and now 5 years later, I see accredited psychiatrists validate it. Part of me is like, why did it take 5 years? And why were you making fun of me 5 years ago? And now it's scientific fact, right? But that's for me to figure out. That's for me to see where I fit in. That's for me to carve out my own path. So essentially, and I'm going to do more videos like this. This is my first on-camera video. I've done a lot of podcasts, and I've been kind of hiding behind the camera or behind the mic, if you will, and it's been more comfortable. But I've been told by many clients, friends, coaches, people that it's time for me to show myself and for me to show up and share what I know. And I've been through a lot in my life, in my 55 years of life on this planet. I've seen a lot, I've traveled a lot. I've had many different jobs and professions. I've lived abroad. I've been married and divorced twice. I've launched businesses. I've managed portfolios up to $10 million in commercial real estate. I've been a real estate investor, both residential, commercial. I've been a relationship coach. I've started 2 podcasts. I've seen some stuff. I'm raising 2 teenagers right now. And it's been thanks to many other people who've gone before me, coaches, friends, experts, authors, right? Information, truths, if you will, that I've been exposed to over my 55 years of life that have allowed me to get to where I'm at. And for me now, at this second part of life, it is no longer necessarily about the things that I have or the money that I make or the credits that I get. It's more important for me to live a balanced life, to be in serenity as much as I can, and not avoidance of chaos, but being able to be inside of chaos, to be inside of the storm and find balance and serenity in any given circumstance and situation in life. And that's an aspiration. I'll never get there. No one will ever get there because things always change. Life is unpredictable and uncertain. And it is for us to create as much certainty for ourselves in our own lives, in our own hearts, in our own souls, that will allow for that serenity. Because life is inherently uncertain and unpredictable. And we try to create systems and patterns, predictions to make us feel comfortable that, now we know what's going to happen and we're in charge and we're in control. Never going to happen. We're never in control. It may seem at times that we have controlled certain outcomes, and life, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, I think allows us these moments where we feel like, I had something to do here. I'm manipulating something, I'm controlling something. But it never leads to a fulfilled, balanced, and happy, serene life. Because life will throw us curveballs. And in order to be able to throw back that ball, the experience we need to get there has nothing to do with certainty, has nothing to do with predictability. And so therefore, can you be in uncertainty and create your own certainty? The feeling that things will be okay. Because that's what it is, uncertain. It's a bit like when we say insecure is unsafe. When we don't feel secure and safe where we're at in life, right? It is up to us to create it. No one else can create that for us. No one else can create that for me. I have to create that. And again, I'm speaking to myself. Because as I'm saying it, that is part of my own struggles, is creating that feeling of safety and certainty. The fact that I will be okay. Like I am loved, I matter. All the things we struggle with, right? We all have a form of that inner sentencing. Like I don't matter, I'm not lovable, I don't need any. Whatever the inner sentencing is that is keeping you, that's holding you back. It's the same for me. It's the same for everyone. We all have it. There are people that are really good at pretending they don't have that struggle. We all do. The billionaires to the poor people in the streets. Same struggle, different circumstances, but there is an internal struggle trying to fill that void. Do I matter? Am I loved? Am I good enough? Right? You fill in the blank. And so I'm going to do more videos on certain topics. It is my intention to put out into the world, into the ether, what I've learned. If this resonates with you, please subscribe, like, come back. I'm going to do this very organically. I may do this in the same environment. I may do this once in a while walking and talking. I may do it here. I don't know yet. But I needed to start with one video, and it took a while to get here. And today seemed like the right day. So yeah, hope you got some value from this. And if you can take away just one thing from what I said, it's okay to be tired today. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel like maybe today wasn't a productive day. All of it is okay. Tomorrow will be a new day. And just embrace where you're at today. Be gentle with yourself. You know, I've heard this before so many times. Be gentle. What does that mean? Do you like pet yourself gently and you're just like, I'm just going to cozy up and lay? Yeah, maybe that's what it takes. You cozy up under the blanket and have a hot cup of tea, or go for a walk, or play with your child, you know, sure. But be gentle just simply means like, yeah, this is part of you too. And you're experiencing this today. Don't make it wrong. It's part of you. You are feeling frustration. You're feeling anger, disappointment, resentment, judgment, whatever. Why? And I'll leave you with this. Our world is heating up. It is getting louder and faster. And it's a bit like we're like frogs in a boiling pot of water. You know, there's a boiling point where those of us who are ready to wake up and shift will say, I think it's time to get out of this pot, because if not, we're going to die. And so you jump out. And that's really the main message for me, is like, let us jump out of the hot boiling pot of water before we get cooked. And right now, there's so much heat and pressure in the world that it's actually inviting us, you and me, to stop, to acknowledge it, and to say, I got to move over here. I don't want to be part of this anymore. There's too much friction here. There's too much noise, too much heat, division, anger, separation, all that stuff. I'm going to go over here where I'm going to focus internally. What do I need to do here to feel serenity and peace in my life? What can I do first in my own home, right? Clean up, put my own house in order first before I go out there and tell others to put their house in order. So you do whatever feels right. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You do whatever you need to do to put your own house in order, right? Your own relationship, marriage, parenting, your mental health, physical health, your relationship with people that are corrosive, right? Where can you put your own house in order first? Because it starts with us, like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. That's the only way we're going to eradicate world hunger and stop wars and all that. It's an individual revolution. So I'm inviting you to start that individual revolution alongside me, but inside yourself. Start now, because now is all we got. Cool. Hope to see you back soon. This was my first video, and there will be more. I promise. Cheers.